Cognitive what? You might be wondering why we are starting off with cognitive biases and aren't jumping right into things like body posture, eye contact, and focus. Well, here's the thing. Active listening is so much more than just what we see people doing while in conversation. Like a glacier in the ocean, much of active listening happens below the surface, and it's necessary to know what's happening in our own communication styles and patterns so we can make the most of our time spent communicating with others. First, what exactly are cognitive biases? We can think of these as a distortion in how we process cognitive information. Much like how we each see different things when we look into the sky, we each hear different things based on many factors. Our brains, as awesome as they are, do not process information in a purely objective way, so it's important for us to know what's happening to prevent us from deviating too far from rational and logical thinking. This awareness has the potential to make our lives so much easier by allowing us to make less influenced and therefore more sound decisions. There are many types of cognitive biases, and for purposes of this course, we will explore 5 main types that are common in our daily communication. These are the halo effect, confirmation bias, authority bias, framing bias, and negativity bias. First, let's explore the halo effect. This type of cognitive bias represents a bias that alters people's perception when our brains take shortcuts. An example is when someone makes an immediate good impression. Our brains will cling to this impression and view the person more positively, regardless of what negative things they might do soon afterward. First impressions impact how we interact with the person and take in their info. Next, let's learn about confirmation bias. This refers to the cognitive bias that consists of favoring information that confirms ideas or hypotheses that we already have without considering a variety of information. An example is ageism. We believe what we want. We choose the info and look for evidence to support that. If we think that people of a certain age aren't technologically savvy, then we are more likely to view all people in that age range as lacking those skills, regardless of whether they actually do. Another type of cognitive bias is authority bias. This is the tendency to overestimate the opinion of someone considered an authority in a field. This happens when we blindly trust someone with no contradiction. We often see this type of bias occur between employees and supervisors. Framing bias is another type of cognitive bias and is the tendency to be influenced by the way an issue is presented. For example, if a colleague spends a lot of time talking about the risks associated with something, then you will likely view this topic in a negative light. We choose what information we put in the frame and what we exclude. The last type of cognitive bias that we will learn about is negativity bias. This is the tendency to give negative experiences more weight than positive ones and to remember them more. When we listen, we pay attention to negative things. So if a colleague is very negative, then it impacts what people hear when they are listening. To summarize, we learned what cognitive biases are, why they are important to be aware of in workplace communication, and 5 different types with examples of how they might show up for us on the job. Next, we will practice identifying the different types of biases in various workplace scenarios.